to do, I don't know if you guys remember the picture, but if you want to sort of flip back and forth between my screen and the picture, the trees that were in this back section were like tall pine trees, but they had this sort of like a faded bluish green color to it. Okay, so the color we're going to use, wait till I show you, but we're going to use this like blue and green, mix them together. And when you use this color on the color that you already used, it'll show up as a darker green, because we're not going to add any white to it. And because these trees are kind of far away, and we're using a tiny brush for this, we're really just going to kind of bounce the brush on the canvas. Is that too far away, or can you guys see that? So just take your time. I would start like where I started. Mine was a little bit above where that line of green is. So kind of a little bit into the mountains, so you're kind of covering up a little, like the line where the mountains and the tree line is. But I'm just bouncing my brush. And some of them can be taller. It's supposed to just look like the woods kind of far away. But you can see how fast I'm doing it, so don't try to rush and do it too fast. And you use your paint without any water mixed into it, so it's nice and thick on your canvas. I'm trying to help you. These are really, really, really tiny trees because they're really far away. How are you doing, Samira? Good? Okay. Karina, I hope you are not stressing. This is fun and no stress. You're making a beautiful painting, no stress.
I'm helping her with the tree part because she's so overwhelmed, I guess.
Let's do some breathing. We should do some yoga while we're doing our trees. Karina, remember the first painting we did, and you used the fan brush and you made those cool looking pine trees? We're gonna do those next over on the side here, so you get to use the fan brush again and make that sort of a pine tree looking thing, okay? And you already know how to do that really well. Yeah, I know. It's weird because like we're not sitting there with them. We don't know exactly what their problem they're having is.
the video and it's not coming up. He's clicking on the link, and he doesn't have his video on and it's not coming up.
Maybe.
So, all right, keep me posted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. So what I did, guys, was I mixed green and yellow.
The school bus yellow or the light yellow?
Light yellow. I mixed the green and yellow, and I added some white, but I didn't blend it perfectly. Can you see it's kind of spotty? And I'm just gonna bounce my brush like this. Can you see that? I'm gonna just tap my brush on my canvas very lightly. I'm just kind of adding texture. Not completely, and this is okay that there's the color in the background. That's why we blocked all that color in, so that we don't have to cover the whole background. So you have a little bit of streak showing through. Yep.
I need to wait until my paint dries.
Okay.
Back into the trees.
No problem. So you got all your spaces blocked in, Edgar?
Yep.
Great. So I think you were good. You can just hang out. You can wait a few minutes. You can even probably start adding your trees pretty soon because this paint dries pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, the thing I'm gonna choose is chill.
You're gonna chill. Very good. Can you guys see actually what I'm doing? Like, I'm just adding a little bit of texture. It's still very far away, so I'm not really going crazy with the texture. I'm just tapping my brush with that same grass color to give it that little bit of texture. Very, very soft look. I'm gonna just work on this green section, but as I get further down the canvas, I'm gonna use less white and more green and yellow. So my color is gonna be a little bit brighter. And you'll be able to see the texture a lot more.
Like this, Miss Connell?
Yeah, that looks great. All those colors in that. See how when you guys add blue and green and yellow and white and mix all those colors in there together, your eyes still look at it and see green or meadow or field or whatever, but there's so many different colors, and it's such a much more advanced way of painting than just green, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It gives it a lot more variation. Very, very good. So if you're ready for that next tree section on these sides right here, for that color, we're gonna mix green and blue and a little bit of black. You can use a little bit of that brown that I gave you, but again, like, it's kind of stinky, so if you don't want to use it, that's fine.
draw the pine tree.
We're not gonna do them just yet. Just mix your pine tree color. So clean your brush, start with a clean brush and mix green and blue and a tiny bit of black till you get the right color. It should be like a dark pine tree color.
Like this, Miss Connell?
Yeah, I can't, it's hard to see. Put it on, let me see it on your palette maybe and hold it up. I'm gonna use my brush to mix my color, but I'm gonna make it as flat as I can. So I'm kind of flipping my fan brush back and forth, okay? So watch me do this first, right? So now I'm gonna go in right here and I'm gonna make some pretty tall pine trees, okay? But before we jump in, so I'm gonna start over here and I'm gonna have a tall one, but look at how high up I'm going to start it. I'm gonna start it way up here, okay? But I'm barely going to touch my fan brush to the canvas, and I'm just kind of making a little skinny line, and that line goes all the way down into this section. Barely a skinny line right there, okay? And so then I had another kind of smaller one next to it, skinny line. A lot of times Bob Ross also makes these lines for the tree with a palette knife, so we could have done that too, but it's okay. And then we had another little skinny one in here. This is kind of, we're doing this instead of sketching our tree. We're kind of sketching it with our paint, okay? Then I'm going to, so see where my trees are gonna go? Now I'm gonna start with my tall one first. And I'm gonna start, I'm sorry, say it again.
What colors did you just mix for that?
Blue and green and black. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my fan brush right at the top. I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth. I'm just back and forth bouncing my brush. Lamont, you're here. Yay, it worked. Yay. So Lamont, I don't know if you've gotten to do anything, but I wanted to let you know that whatever we are doing in class, like painting right now, I'm recording it, so I will upload it for you. Okay? So right now I'm using really, really dark color for the trees, because I'm going to do the dark first and then I'm going to add highlights.
Like this, Miss Connell?
Oh yeah, very good. These are awesome.
Miss Connell.
Yeah.
For the pine trees, do we need the black only?
For this, I mixed green and blue and a little bit of black. So it looks very black, but it's like a dark pine tree color. It helps if the paint on your brush is pretty wet when you do this, even if you're not using all of it. All right, guys, it's about time to stop for today.